Hello everyone. Welcome back to Mentors Academy. This is day 2 of our brand new daily current affairs series for UPSC aspirants. If you have watched yesterday's session, you know we are focusing on making current affairs exam ready for both prelims and mains exams. Today's set of topics is very diverse, from earthquakes to tribal language preservation, from Supreme Court rulings to international relations, and even brain research innovations. Stay with me till the end. Let's get started now. The first article we have is Earthquakes, Why They Strike and Afghanistan's Vulnerability. Now we all know earthquakes are caused by the sudden release of energy along the fault lines, right? But why is Afghanistan so vulnerable? The country lies at the intersection of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates, and this zone is highly unstable. Adding to that, the Hindu Kush mountain region, which experiences frequent shallow focus quakes, meaning the quakes occur closer to the Earth's surface, causing more destruction. But here is the twist. It's not just geology, even social factors make the disaster worse, right? Like a poor infrastructure, weak governance, and limited disaster preparedness. Think of mud houses and unplanned settlements collapsing with the slightest tremor, right? Yeah, this is it about the article. And coming to the relevance for UPSC, this connects to GS1 paper, geophysical phenomena and disaster vulnerability mapping. And in GS3, disaster preparedness, infrastructure resilience. And in GS2, we can connect this to humanitarian crisis in fragile states and international cooperation. The second article is about the culture, which is about Adivani. The government has launched Adivani. It's a digital initiative to translate and preserve tribal languages, right? Did you know India has over 700 tribal groups, but many of the languages are disappearing? When a language dies, it's not just words that are lost, it's centuries of oral traditions, folklore, and identity, right? Adivani is building digital dictionaries using technology to keep these languages alive. This ties beautifully with the National Education Policy 2020, which stresses on inclusivity and mother tongue education. Note this point. For our exam, link this to GS1, safeguarding tribal culture, right? GS1 is tribal culture and safeguarding our diversity, and GS2 inclusive governance. And even in ethics paper, we can connect this to values of respect, inclusiveness, right? Quick question. Can you name a tribal language from your state that you feel needs more preservation? Drop it in the comments. Let's see how diverse our community is, right? So, next up, yeah, our third article is RTE exemption. RTE exemption revisiting minority institutions. This is a legal current affair. The Supreme Court has suggested revisiting the blanket exemption of minority institutions from the Right to Education Act. Now Article 30 of the Indian Constitution gives minorities the right to establish and administer educational institutions. But here is the conflict. If minority schools are exempt, does that deny underprivileged children equal access to education under RTE? This raises a classical dilemma: equity versus autonomy. Okay, for UPSC, we can link this to GS2, um, to educational policy, fundamental rights, judicial review, and in GS1 to social justice. In ethics, we can easily link to like balancing rights with equity. How do you balance equality also with cultural freedom, right? Yeah. The fourth article, it's an important one, the recent SEO summit and the shifting regional dynamics. Well, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit just concluded. Remember, SCO Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a Eurasian grouping founded in 2001, right, with China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and Central Asian countries. So it focuses on security, connectivity, and trade, economic cooperation. So at this year's summit, terrorism and regional connectivity were in focus, especially terrorism and regional connectivity. But for India, there is always a balancing act. On one hand, SEO gives India access to Central Asia, energy resources, and regional diplomacy. On the other, India must be careful with China's influence and Russia's tilt. So, what is the main relevance of this article? So, we can compare SEO with India's participation in Quad or Indo-Pacific programs frameworks. So, that's the geopolitical tightrope India is walking right now. So, the next up, our fifth article is about the census 2027 geotagging all buildings. So this is a governance article. Well, so for the first time, census 2027 will geotag every building in India. So what does that mean exactly? So every house, every shop, right, or structure will be digitally marked with exact latitude and longitude. So that is basically geotagging. So why is this revolutionary? So because it makes demographic mapping more accurate. Okay, so it helps welfare schemes reach the right beneficiaries and supports urban planning. So that's the point of geotagging. So imagine disaster management teams knowing exactly where every building is, but there is also a concern, that is data privacy. Well, so who owns this data? How safe is it? So, yeah, these are the questions that raise. And for UPSC, this falls under GS2, data driven governance, GS3, technology and cyber security. And in ethics, we can connect this to balancing efficiency with privacy. So, onto the science and tech article, we have Ceribo. It's an indigenous brain tool. Okay, so India has developed Ceribo, an indigenous brain mapping tool. This is big because currently most advanced neurological equipment is imported and expensive, right? So Ceribo here can map brain activity with precision. It maps brain activity with precision. So you can see the picture here. This is the tool. Okay. Well, so it also helps in conditions like epilepsy, dementia, and brain tumors. For India, this is about Atmanirbhar Bharat in health technology. So we can link this to GS3 innovation and indigenization, in GS2 for healthcare, also for mains how science and technology are vital for a strategic autonomy for a nation, right? So next up, we have some concerning article about air pollution. So the recent AQLI 2025 report has been released. That is Air Quality Life Index report. It says that all Indians breathe toxic air. That's right, every single one of us. So the average Indian is losing 5 to 6 years of life expectancy because of air pollution. This is huge, right? So the Indo-Gangetic Plain, like the Delhi, UP, Bihar, is the worst hit. So this is not just an environmental issue but also a public health, economy, and ethics. Poor air affects productivity, right? So it increases healthcare costs and violates intergenerational justice because the next generation is forced to live in even worse conditions. So this is really concerning. And coming to the relevance of the article, we can link this to GS3, that is environment, climate change, and GS2, health, GS1, we can link this to populational, like population geography, regional disparities. In ethics, we can link this to intergenerational equity. So yeah, we have one last article for today. It's a defense article. So India and Saudi Arabia partner at sea. It's a new naval exercise. So India and Saudi Arabia held their first ever joint naval exercise. This is historic because ties with Saudi were traditionally limited to oil. Now defense cooperation and maritime security are also on the table. So why is this important? Because the Arabian Sea and Red Sea are vital trade routes, right? We know this already. So Arabian and the Red Sea are really vital trade routes for the entire world. So and these are threatened by piracy and regional tensions. Yeah, so for UPSC, the relevance is in GS2, bilateral relations between India, West Asia, GS3, maritime security, economy, and for GS2, international relations, diversifying defense partnerships. So, yeah, this is it for today's current affairs. So, let's test you with a couple of questions here. So the first question is, consider the following pairs: Adivani Digital Tribal Language Project, Cerebro Brain Mapping Tool, AQLI Air Quality and Life Expectancy Index. So which of the following are correctly matched? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3, and 1 and 3 only. The second question is, which of the following statements about SEO is correct? It was founded in 2005 to promote global trade. India is a founding member. It is a Eurasian political, economic, and security grouping, and it is headquartered in New Delhi. So these are the two MCQs. You can drop your answers in the comment section. And here we have two mains questions for you. You can write them down. You can practice these questions. So first is, examine the role of geophysical vulnerabilities and socio-political conditions in amplifying disaster risks in South Asia with reference to Afghanistan. Second question is, discuss the importance of digital tools like geotagging and language digitization and inclusive governance. Well, so yeah, that's all for today's session. We have covered earthquakes, tribal voices, education rights, SEO summit, census innovation, brain mapping, toxic air, and naval diplomacy. So, all in just one session. So, remember, every single topic here can directly land in your prelims or mains exams. So yeah, if you have found value here in this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your UPSC peer group. So don't forget to answer today's questions in the comment section. Thank you very much for turning in today. So stay consistent. I'll see you tomorrow with another high yield current affairs session. Thank you.